What was it about punk rock that spoke to you?
I think that it's the same thing that speaks to me today about something that I truly love, which is like sincerity, honesty, something that feels like there's someone shedding a part of their soul, and they know that most people won't really feel comfortable in that, but uh, they don't know the audience because the audience is really reluctant to sort of say to them sometimes how much that affects them. So I think that that's kind of like that was really like present in a lot of real punk rock music.
Hmm.
I don't want to say real meaning like elitist or something, but I think that like the real vibe of like the original punk rock music that still continues today was something that, yeah, it's like that really speaks to your soul and rips you apart sometimes. So I feel that continues today with like, I mean, different types of music as well. It's not just like punk rock, but yeah, it's stuck with me forever.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And so, during which phase was it? Maybe the hip hop, the punk rock, or where was it in your musical history where you decided, you know what, you had that aha moment, and this is me. I'm going to be a musician. When did it click?
Mm, right away. So when I was 12, 13. Again, my parents were music teachers, so I was lucky in the way that things work in Canada, which is a bit different than the United States, is that Canada, we have a we have a different system here. Like when people pay taxes a little more, and
Hmm.
because we have a smaller population, those tax dollars kind of like get sort of spread out a little bit differently. So there's music programs in Canada that are a little better, meaning like the students show up. It doesn't matter how much money their parents have. It doesn't matter at all because there's like an instrument that could cost $1,000 that the student could for free for the sake of public education they could use for their studies for that term.
Wow.
And so the schools, they're not rich schools, but they have like a budget, which is just, again, it's a budget, so they can buy instruments. And so my father, who was a music teacher, he had access to these instruments and he could bring them home on the summer break. I mean, again, this was like kind of like in the 90s where like there wasn't so many checks and balances about what people were taking and bringing back through the school system.
Right.
And so, yeah, every summer in my basement, there was guitar amps and there was a PA, and it did not take long to find a couple friends that wanted to come over and just make some serious noise in my basement. And
And your
yeah,
and
for
your
me,
parents being music
yeah,
teachers, I mean, they were cool, right? They weren't giving you a hard time.
no, they were pretty cool about it. I mean, I think that again, I mean, I guess maybe they wish their kids would probably get into big band sound. It would be a lot quieter and more like traditional, but I don't know if they really expected their kids to totally embrace the punk grunge scene of the like mid to late 90s, which was like get as loud as you can get.
And so from there, you're kind of playing, jamming with your friends. And
Yeah.
so, at what point do you say, okay, like this is something I want to pursue for real, for real?
Honestly, right away, because when I started to learn how to play guitar, which I had about 6 months of lessons, and the cool thing was, and this is what I think that every teacher, whether it's private or whatever, if they're teaching an instrument to a student or someone who wants to learn, you know what I mean? Like, I think they really should be teaching an instrument to someone that like they kind of go along with whatever the student wants to learn. So, well, I had this guitar teacher for 6 months, very nice guy named Rich. I still remember his name today. He did teach me some Hendrix songs, which I'll be honest, when I was like 12, 13. I mean, Hendrix I knew was like this cool, iconic guy, like a Led Zeppelin, Stones kind of forever eternalized. But I was just like, teach me their Nirvana songs. You know what I mean? Like, give me Come As You Are. I don't. So, we learned Hey Joe, we learned some songs like that, but then I was just like, come on. get to the stuff I'm really listening to.